Though we may choose to make it so, I'm not sure that the bodily resurrection of Jesus Christ is the most difficult or the hardest thing for us to preach or accept on Easter. Preachers to new visitors on Easter morning or over Easter dinner conversations with skeptics may focus on the reality of the bodily resurrection of Jesus, how to believe it or make sense of it. I suggest we just let go of that need to explain. In the words of one writer, to make something that could neither startle, nor shock, nor terrify, nor inspire a living soul is to crucify the Son of God afresh. After all, it's been over 2,024 years and we've never been able to explain it satisfactorily. But we are still proclaiming it, reveling in it, singing jubilant hymns and songs to it, and despite its mysteriousness and its apparent absurdity, it still has astounding, life-saving, and life-releasing power. It may be that the bodily resurrection of Jesus, which, for the record, I thoroughly believe and rejoice in, is not the most challenging or disruptive thing for us to face on Easter. The disciples themselves quickly realized that it meant something radically life-altering, a fundamental change in how we live and move in the world. It's no wonder that in the Gospels, the first response to the empty tomb is both terror and amazement. What if any resistance we may have about the truth of our death being made powerless over our souls and our bodies is the possibility of God's forgiveness, even over or for our worst sins, our worst hurts and regrets, and that love and forgiveness is shed all over us. And that the truth that nothing can separate us from the love of God, what if that is the overwhelming and astonishing truth that we really resist in Easter? We want to be in control, to be able to manage how people know and accept us, and how we know and accept others. There are grudges we hold on to because by aligning ourselves as part of one party or faction over another, we can define who we are. And those alignments comfort and they lull us into a kind of life that is not really a full life, but a half-life. Or we say that there are people that we can just never forgive, no matter what. We gain something, some part of us of how we define ourselves as victims or survivors of a wrong, however unspeakable, by holding on to those parts of our history. Or there are habits of mind that we repeat to ourselves that say, I'm not worthy for goodness or affection or dignity to approach me because, well, how could God love such a person as me? Or even give me what I ask for, even though Jesus is constantly telling us, ask, ask, keep knocking, keep praying. Those are the same habits of mind that got the first disciples stuck behind locked doors that were no match to our risen Lord. So on this Easter, what is your deepest calling in life? Can you allow yourself to pursue it, to ask for it? Or do you feel you don't deserve it, or that it's too late, or that it's not for you? It's somehow more lulling, maybe even addictive, to live a half-life, stuck in a tomb or in a locked room, than to be called to share the resurrection and to share in God's restoration of the world in whatever way God invites you. Of course, it is the strangeness of the resurrection that disrupts us. It is the strangeness of the resurrection that disrupts us. Contained in that gospel is news that God wants more for us than we have ever asked or imagined, or ever allowed ourselves to accept. It may take a lifetime to learn how to live into the life of Jesus, but that will be a life well lived. May we share in that resurrection and proclaim the astounding truth that God desires nothing less for us than a new life, a new joy, a new freedom, new love in the body into which we are born anew in the risen Jesus. Alleluia, Christ is risen. The Lord, as we are, is risen indeed. Alleluia.